think that was a good song when he yelled out Chiquita. I like that. It was those simple moments. I feel like it was simple moments that I felt like I was connected to the hood, but I wasn't. I grew up in the country next to a cotton field and like with woods behind me. I was the furthest away from Atlanta or Jeezy related, but I think Jeezy got me closer there.
Yeah, you from Alabaster. Well, you grew up in Alabaster, right?
Alabama. Alabama. I'm from Enterprise, Alabama. So if you go to the beach, you typically drive through Enterprise. But my parents are from Belize in Central America. Mm-hmm. Long story how they ended up in Alabama, but I could have been raised in cool places like Chicago, LA, but they landed in Enterprise, Alabama. So I grew up, again, cotton field, dirt road, very much in the country.
And that's when you fell in love with Gucci.
Yeah, I think it was around that time frame. Chiquita!
But country and hood is very similar because, you know, you working with limited resources. A lot of people don't even realize that. Like, so.
Well, I mean, technically, hood is short for neighborhood, but, you know, the media just try to make it seem like the hood is where black folks grow up.
Yeah, you know what? I never thought about that. I'm 34 years old. I never realized hood was for neighborhood.
Yeah, like, think about it. White people say, this is my neighborhood. Black folks say, this is my hood. You know what I'm saying? They just shorten out. We don't never say the full word.
Yeah. Well, my hood was very country. I'll say that.
Yeah, I ain't found out I was a hood or ratchet until I moved to Atlanta. Then I was like, oh.
Yeah, Columbus hood ratchet is like bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, but it's because we country too. Mm-hmm. You heard that cut? We country.
We don't know any better out there.
It's a big, small, like you ever had like a hood rich dude who got like a corporate job? That's Columbus.
Yeah, at its best.
At its best.
We ain't gonna talk about the worst.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's Columbus. Like, yeah, like wow, you got a job. That's Columbus. You know what I'm saying?
So it like personify this person from Columbus, this hood country person for me.
All right,
give me an example. What's his name?
Daquan. Daquan Jamal Jones.
I know a D'Antoine from Columbus, so let's call him D'Antoine.
Oh, you know D'Antoine?
D'Antoine hood?
Hell yeah.
Y'all lying.
Bullshit me not.
Stop. Shout out to Hood Boy. That's one of my closest friends from Auburn University. Good dude. Always had my back.
The only D'Antoine I know is the one that be dancing.
Yeah, that's I won't drop no names.
Oh damn.
Yeah, that's not him.
That's Henderson, my bad.
Yeah, I ain't want to say his last name.
So we don't know the same person.
Well, they got to figure it out if we're going to put this.
So we don't know the same person?
Nah, I thought he was bullshit. Apparently
shout out to D'Antoine from Columbus. I know there's a few of y'all. we rock with you, all three of y'all.
D'Antoine from Columbus.
Damn. Hey, there'll be three people feeling special. And that's me.
He on the map.
So we started off, he was asking about when you fell in love with Gucci. So you think Gucci legit is about to win this versus battle?
Absolutely.
I'm with her.
Oh, I feel betrayed, brother.
You feel betrayed? Nah, I mean, like...
Absolutely.
15 songs. Well, they're going to probably do 20 or more.
They're probably going to do about 25, 30.
But does Gucci really have... We're talking about a song you can play on the spot that's going to move the whole crowd.
So...
Lemon pepper wings in a freeze cup.
20s. We're talking about hit for hit with Jeezy, though.
Man, so if we really going to get into it and, you know, we highlight our guest, Maegan, you know what I'm saying? We got the drinks flowing. I'm kind of feeling myself. So shout out to you and your drinks.
Hey.
If we really gonna be honest about it, if we talking about industry, Gucci put Jeezy on.
So icy.
Yeah, absolutely. If we really gonna break it down, now I fuck with both of them.
He broke him. You're right. He broke him, man. Outside the boys in the hood.
I fuck with both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like most definitely, they both real official dudes. I definitely fuck with both of them. But if I had to pick one, if Gucci get his arrangement right, as far as the songs sequencing and all that stuff, he can win.
So this is MacTown versus Atlanta. How you think Atlanta gonna win?
No, this is actually MacTown versus shout out to Alabama.
Gucci from Alabama, right?
Bessemer, Alabama, right outside Birmingham.
Right. I forgot about that.
I never knew that either.
Yeah, he's from Bessemer.
Bessemer.
So this is Georgia versus Alabaster.
Alabama.
And I'm going with the Bama, man.
If history tells you, that means Alabama gonna win.
See what you did there.
Chill out now.
I think Eric finna talk about all this music and arrangement that Jeezy got though.
Yeah, because that was bullshit what you just said. Ooh. As far as a versus battle, with music, because this shit ain't got nothing to do with the industry.
No sugarcoating.
Because at the end of the day, like, Gucci has done more industry-wise than Jeezy, I think, completely. But we talking about music. There's not one Gucci song that I would put up quality-wise against any Jeezy song.
Not
Like,
one.
Not one.
Not one.
The closest thing to it is Freaky Girl, and still like the song itself is still like cartoonish. Like Jeezy made music that like I didn't in that time. I didn't really fuck with trap rap. I didn't really like that shit. Like I never have been a fan of Gucci Mane's music or most people who make trap music. But fucking Jeezy as a musician, I fucking love Jeezy music and has always loved it from day one. Mm-hmm. I don't even think they in the same realm as far as just music. If we take out the lore of Gucci and how cool Gucci Mane is and how many people he put on and the dope shit he did in that way, and we just bring it to the music, he's not fucking with Jeezy at all. He's a quantity over quality. Like
we have to be in versus like who's the judge of the winner? It's society, it's culture. Mm-hmm. We are the people who are gonna quote make this decision. Majority wins. That's what it is. So if you look at us as a majority, us black people, do you confidently feel that we will pick someone who has quality over quantity? What you're saying?
Absolutely, because the only reason why Gucci Mane dropped as much music as he does is because it doesn't, like, none of that shit, like, actually sticks. We still singing Jeezy songs, like, and I mean, you could play that shit anywhere in the country. Like, yeah. Gucci Mane, that shit, we from Georgia. Although he from Alabama, like, he got popular in Georgia. Like, we all know. Yeah, like, we all know Gucci Mane music because they play that shit everywhere down here. Now, does it spread across the world like Jeezy does? In my opinion, no, because it just ain't pop quality. Not calling Jeezy pop. I don't want to be disrespectful at all.
Commercial.
Right.
Commercial,
you need
like
commercial.
Jeezy can make music that will bump outside of the hood. Mm-hmm. Gucci Mane, I ain't heard a song that bumps outside of the hood.
And maybe I just have a better connection and affinity to Gucci. Like I read his autobiography. I think I'm closer to him. And so maybe that's just my preference. It's gonna be a great versus though. I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
So you have a crush on Gucci. That's your
I did not
reasoning.
say that.
That's what it sounded like. An affinity.
Back in the day, did
Why do good girls like bad guys?
What?
I was gonna say back in the day, I might have dated some gold teeth, big belly having.
Hey,
trap.
Ain't nothing wrong with the big belly.
You forgot his grill for the wrong episode, bro.
I might have.
You wanna go back grab that?
A little bit, you know?
Eric said his teeth in the car.
I'll be right back.
I ain't hear who Twan and Jason said though.
So I mean, you know, being a photographer, I did a lot of club photography.
Yes.
And in the clubs, Gucci owns the club. Yes. Gucci owns the club. However,
Streets,
commercial and movies and stuff, Jeezy own it, bro. Like Jeezy got, I put on for the city. I do. Like I'm not a big trap music person, so I can name more Jeezy songs. But like when you play a Gucci song, oh yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah.
Let me get the record straight. Right. 4 girls love me like I'm going on a limit day. You know what I'm saying?
So you specified club, right? So before we hit record, what was I doing? I was playing a mixture of Gucci and Jeezy. You know how much harder it was to find a Gucci song that would make you just get excited? How easy it was to go play one simple song off of a Jeezy album that had everybody in here ready to...
Nah, can you play that one Gucci song that I was that's...
But you still didn't play photo shoot. When I'm at the club,
that's a photo shoot. See, like I don't know
that
Gucci songs until they come on.
That shit don't ride with me though.
You tripping.
But he's saying it's easier to think of a Jeezy song.
So even though Gucci
is more commercial,
it's not even commercial. It's just that forever feeling of a song, right? Like
longevity and the everlasting is.
My president is black. I think the lyrics of that song is trash as shit.
Oh, it is. The
but the song, like, it's a song you'll never ever forget.
It's impactful.
Yeah.
So Gucci.
No, I'm saying the lyrics. The lyrics is trash.
Like quote the first verse.
I can't.
Hello, America.
Like, what the fuck? Your
What are you
Ferrari
talking about?
blue. My
Yeah,
president
my Lambo blue.
My Lambo blue. Like, that shit, the lyrics were stupid as shit.
Because he was saying he was Democratic. Ooh.
Come on now, drop the gem.
Oh, drop on blue.
So what
blue.
he was saying when he said his rims blue too?
His kids gonna vote. He voting the whole ticket. The whole ticket.
Jeezy been
He
trying to
voting
turn Georgia blue for years.
Hey, he a visionary.
That's really crazy.
But nah, I feel like Eric hit it on the head. It's quantity over quality. Jeezy definitely is the quality. Gucci's the quantity. But Gucci got songs that's why I said it's the arrangement.
But speaking of quantity, let's talk about everybody we got in the room real quick.
Oh yeah, most definitely got to do that. So who gonna kick it off?
I mean, you know, Se Casa, A Su Casa,
Mi casa, su casa.
whatever it's supposed to be.
We back.
Yes, sir.
This is our Thanksgiving edition. We have a special guest in the building, the beautiful, the talented, the mixologist, the
Yes,
Gucci
me.
Supreme Crush, Miss Maegan of Tasteful Gatherings.
Hello.
Hey, Megan.
I got my long lock wearing,
Ooh,
deep thought photo shoot
Yeah.
bearing.
deep thought.
Deep thought woke man, not the second woke man, but he's one half of the woke man crew.
Woke man crew.
My boy JJ Napoleon in the building.
Yes, sir. And I got my, of course, talented.
Okay,
Yes, part-time photographer, full-time hustler,
I agree.
wonderfully and happily married.
Aw.
Yeah. I might have to end on
Shout
that
out to the
note.
wife.
Oh yeah, shout out to the wife.
Hey.
Homeboy,
She better have my meal ready when I get home. I'm joking.
Antoine, better known as Twine Lack. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow him on Instagram.
And I got a lot of people to introduce. Coming back for the second week in a row. We ain't heard him in 4 months, but he here. He's ready. My boy Andrew.
Yo, what up?
And then we got the ladies. The ladies love him. Pretty fly for a fat guy. _
Step up.
Yeah, I'm in the room. Well, I ain't really, on this podcast. I said I wasn't gonna talk, but y'all was talking about Jeezy and Gucci, so I had to put my little input in there. But it's Mr. Pretty Fly for a Fat Guy, Mr. at 121 Dreamers. That's the Instagram. I need to make this clear for people, because people be mixing them. 121 Dreamers is just the Instagram. The business is called 121 Dreams, pronounced exactly like that. So if you're trying to get your podcast done, hit me up. I'm the plug in Atlanta. I keep it 100 and
21.
Nah, see, it's a new thing I came up with last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. I keep it 103 times 7.
Okay.
For y'all mathers out there.
Right.
Yeah.
All the
Think about
mathematicians
that.
in the building.
Right. You gotta multiply first, then add.
And then for the BFF
Gems.
crew, we got the other BFF in the house. The man who stole my haircut, running with it. Give it up for Big Round.
Hey, bravo, indigo, golf. Matter of fact, I stole these curls straight from you, and I'm doing a lot better than you, brother.
Hey man, I don't.
But you
do
gave me
my
the
hair.
inspiration to do it.
I don't do my hair. I don't leave the house. I don't do my
I
hair.
traded in the wave for some curls. I'm feeling pretty fly about it. Not pretty fly for a fat guy.
Oh, not no more.
underscore, but pretty fly. But we back, man.
And this is my
Homeboys
Podcast.
Yeah.
He's never
I like
gonna-
the way you jumped in
She
there.
jumped in there. Ad-lib queen.
All right, just in there. You comfortable? All right.
Yes, sir.
So let's get with it, man. What we gonna talk about first and foremost?
We gotta big up our guest, man.
Yeah, I want to talk about these drinks.
Giving her flowers while she's still in this earth. We don't wait till people go on to their next life to decide to celebrate them. So you here. We brought you here for a reason. We know what you're doing is special. Tell us about what you got going on with Tasteful Gatherings.
Tell them what's in my cup.
Hey, jang-a-lang-a-lang-a-lang. That sounds like an empty cup to me.
I'm pulling up right now.
Pull up. No, thanks for having me. Happy to be kicking it with the homeboys today. But me, you're wanting to know about me, Maegan. My name is Maegan with Tasteful Gatherings. I work in marketing in the day, and then
You be in these streets at night.
during lunchtime and after work, I'm slinging these cocktails.
Trapping.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. But it started out last year when I filed for my LLC. I wanted to start a company and didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I gathered a group of friends similar to what I think you're doing here and just started brainstorming, flushing through what I want to do, what is my passion. Never been, officially trained, but I would say over probably about 5 to 6 years have just been known amongst my friend group to make the best drinks. I mean, alcoholic, non-alcoholic. I just always love the concept of putting together a cocktail or anything like that. Being creative in that process, that's been fun for me. And so earlier this year, I was supposed to host events with drinks, bringing in the culture. This is all about bringing us as Black people in elevated experiences. We like to put on a tux. We like to come in, put our little pinky in the air, hold our cocktail. So how do I bring my cocktails in a space that's elevated, unique, fun, and elegant? And COVID happened. Boom.
Shit.
Yeah. So I had to, word of the year, pivot. And I decided to start making cocktails and delivering them to people in Atlanta. And had to make it me, signature, had to make it about, who I am. And so that's how Tasteful Gatherings started. Because everything I do is going to be a bit higher level than what you can get from somebody else.
Talk your shit, Queen.
Even for me, it'll be a signature. Like I have, you can't see it right now, but I have a special FDA approved edible glitter that I use in my cocktail just to add a little shimmer, add a little shake to my drinks.
It's in every drink. The Sweet Like Peach Tree was my personal favorite.
Sweet like peach.
So what are we sipping on right now? What is this delicious concoction?
Right now, you're sipping on one of my cocktails that is actually made specifically for the fall. So a lot of people like mules, right? Mm-hmm. You go to a bar, you order a mule. And what I did was made I would say a tasteful, elevated rendition of that. And I used spiced rum, ginger beer, lemon. But what I did to make it a bit different is I made an elixir. An elixir is just going to be kind of a small concoction that you bring together, elements that typically don't go together, but when they come together, they're actually going to taste good. So it's almost like a potion, if you want to think about it like that.
When I hear of elixir, all I think of is Family Matters and the Cool Juice.
Hey. I might have a little smoke coming from it.
I think you're going to say Robitussin and NyQuil.
Nah, it was whatever elixir. And they were like, what? And he was like, cool juice.
Tasteful juice.
So I wanna ask specifically this one question because I heard you talk about it. I'm a mixologist by heart as well. Mm-hmm. But you said that you studied your quote unquote Bible was like a flavor book.
Oh, yes. So self-taught in a lot of areas around cocktails, but one book I reference a lot is called The Flavor Bible.
Yes.
And I think in making food and making drinks, it's all about how you pair unique flavors, but they have to balance each other. And the Flavor Bible's almost like a reference book that you can go in and look up one ingredient, and then there's a full list of other ingredients that pair well with that. So let's say you have rosemary in your house right now and you want to know what goes well with that. You look up rosemary in this Flavor Bible and it's going to list everything, the best meat that you should use, the best drinks, the best seasonings that pair well with that. And I use that as a reference to almost double certify why I make drinks the way I do.
And I would say that of all the drinks I've tasted, they are pleasing to the palate. They're not just strong with alcohol, but it's like they're tasteful drinks.
Yeah. I think that's important too. Like all my drinks you get, like I hope you're able to taste the alcohol. That should be the star, but I think everything else should come together and, like you said, balance it out where you get sweet, sour, bitter, all of that. So all of those senses will be aroused.
Yeah, you got to take the entire tongue, well, other than like spicy. I don't like spicy drinks, but the rest of my taste buds do that. Yeah, I want to give a big up to that. That's dope. That is dope.
So, what is your favorite type of alcohol, liquor?
So I like them all. As a mixologist, I have to know the taste of each of them and how to make them. But my favorite cocktail. So a lot of my team members know when I travel for work, if we go to a restaurant or something, they know what drink to order me. And that drink is a classic cocktail. It's called an Aviation. And so that drink is a gin-based drink, and it has creme de violet, which is a purple liqueur. So that is probably a 20% alcohol base in it, and it gives you a very floral taste. So it's gin, creme de violet, lemon, maraschino liqueur, which is a cherry flavored liqueur.
Melon liqueur.
Tasteful Gatherings does not use peach schnapps. Just a disclaimer.
Okay, premium service.
Yes, all premium.
Oh, what's wrong with peach schnapps? I'm just playing.
We could have a alternative.
yeah.
We'll use an alternative. But anyways, aviation. Quick rundown: gin, maraschino liqueur, creme de violet, and lemon, and that's shaken on ice, served up straight. So nice and chilled, very strong, potent drink. I'm one that I like my drinks to hit hard, really quick.
So it's like a martini.
Yes.
It's like a gin martini. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, gin martini.
Yeah, if you talking about gin, I can't do gin, but that's what's up. You let me know you are an actual drinker. My first drinking experience was gin, and that's when I experienced what a hangover was. And
I think we all had that bad gin experience.
When I broke into drinking, gin was our go-to thing. It was, you hang with the homies, you're cheap, you're young.
Was it Seagram or was it?
Seagram, extra dry, the gallon. You get $15, $20, get everybody nice and right. Just OJ, with nothing extras with it. It was burning the esophagus.
I mean, gin and juice, like boom.
That's it.
Always the first.
It's the cheapest thing. Why?
Nah, it's the cheapest stuff, but yeah, it's for top
For that much,
Top
for the
shelf
quantity
cheap.
though, that you get a gallon for less than $20 back then. You got 6 people drink out the same bottle. Nigga.
Smell like a straight juniper berry the next day.
I really would encourage people to try gins because there's so many elevated different gins now, and gin is such a strong staple alcohol in the European market as well. They always are big on gin and tonics, and so you have all of these new, almost local made gins that are coming about that have that floral essence, but then a lot of people don't like that, and so they're bringing in more of like fruits and grapefruits and things like that.
Yeah.
So would you consider a gin and tonic a masculine drink?
I think gin and tonic is very similar to a vodka soda. I mean, I don't think it's very feminine.
Neutral. All right.
Yeah, it's very neutral.
What about a Tom Collins?
I don't think that's feminine. Is that your question?
I actually no. Do you think it's masculine? If you had to choose,
What's the Tom Collins?
shit.
Tom Collins is pretty much. You ever had what's that Arnold Palmer?
Yeah.
It's like Arnold Palmer with liquor. Like it's
Yeah.
the first time I had a Tom Collins, I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but he must have been fucking lit. Okay.
I don't know. I didn't know I was on a cruise, and I felt like I was that guy because I was saying, "Give me a Tom Collins."
Oh.
So you feeling yourself.
I was feeling myself. Top Delk had to.
So I have a tip for that.
Had to merge. Had to taco meat out.
See, old fashioned's a good drink for guys, but I have a tip for that. I think it is totally fine for guys to order, quote, feminine drinks. If you want a sangria, there is nothing wrong with that. What I will say is you can always ask your bartender, hey, I want a sangria, but can you change that to a short glass? I don't want that in
That
a
is
tall wine
exactly-
glass with a stem.
That's exactly what I do. So
Yeah.
I went through a sidecar stage, which a sidecar is essentially a Hennessy martini. And I'm like, look, don't give me no martini glass with the sword and the umbrella and stuff. Put the sidecar in a regular sniffers on, you know.
But so that is fun. So basically you get whatever drink. So I pull out some of the premium glasses right now.
So I don't think the drink emasculates you. I think the glass does. You
That's
know
what I
what
was
I'm
about to get at.
Absolutely.
How the glass looks in your hand.
Right.
Because
If you got a straw, is it like the one with the straw that bends over? Like that's gay.
dang,
If your straw bends over,
You
you're
sound like
gay.
these people. Jason sound like these people on Instagram talking about men can't order brunch or eat appetizers because they gay. Like, you know
yeah,
what I'm
like you
saying?
can't say that.
Like, come on, my straw bend. Come on,
It's a joke. I'm
It's
sorry.
convenient.
Apparently, you like your straws bent.
I don't drink out of straw.
Apologize. Yes.
Lip and glass. You know.
All jokes aside, that was a joke for all of our listeners. I'm not homophobic, and if like however you like your straws.
However,
so.
you can't be a thug drinking out of
you
a
like-
straw, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna kill that fool searching for the straw. There's nothing gangster about sipping out of straws, bro. Ain't no scissor coming in no straw.
But it also goes the other way. Like I have a lot of female friends who order what you guys would think a masculine drink, like an old fashioned or a.
I got a cousin that drink Hennessy, and everybody like, oh my God. I'm like, wait, we grew up on Hennessy. Our grandfather gave us Hennessy. What's wrong with her drinking Hennessy?
Nothing. Scotch. I know a female friend.
I can handle
Scotch
Scotch.
neat.
Yeah, I have more respect for their palate than they do the Scotch neat.
Scotch, really? So, Jen, you got some heavy hitting friends, man. I'm just gonna say.
Hey, they learn from the best.
Oh,
Tonight they getting messed up.
it's going down.
I do have one question.
Okay.
Okay.
So you mentioned earlier about your family coming from Belize in Central America. So how are you able to incorporate that unique culture into what you're doing with the drinks?
Ooh, that's why you come back.
Levels.
That's why we need you here, Andrew.
Levels.
That's why you supposed to be here.
Talk your shit, King.
You know what
Ask
I'm
some
saying?
questions.
Be questions.
I love that question because I think my parents influence everything I do to the point of being an entrepreneur. It is truly about my parents and their fight to come to America to have offspring and have them have a better life. So for me, it's always important to talk about that story and those flavors in Belize.
Okay,
ahead.
my follow up was going to be to that was, well, since you just touched on the last part, I guess the theme coming to America to have a better life, because my family's originally from Jamaica. So, granted, I know a lot of immigration goes on, and that's like the frame of thought. Because I went back to Jamaica I went this summer, and I went back in like 2018. And going back there in 2018, comparison to when I was out there, I guess last time I was out there, I was like 20. So my perception and perspectives of things have like changed. Have you gone back to Belize recently in any way? Do you view it different than, say, looking at it through child eyes? Because you're more now looking at, as a child, you're looking through the country as your parents, what they're showing you. But me going back now as an adult, I got things working on. Now I'm seeing it through my peer view, and I have my comparison now as American in my adulthood. Do you notice or see any differences?
Absolutely. So for me, I lived there for a bit over a year when I was younger. Okay. So I still have the views in my head of what Belize looked like then. We lived at my aunt's home, and for Belize culture, like where we live and who we are, we actually had a strong name. And we had a nice house for Belize. Like there's electricity, like there's a water pump. I mean, we live pretty well in Belize. And so for me as a young kid, like I felt like I was living on top of the world. I have a veranda. We have a mango tree, a lime tree. Yeah. Everything's good. And I still remember those vivid thoughts. But I've been back a few times since I've been above the age of 18. And you really have put things in perspective to realize, like, wow, my parents lived here. And they live so much differently than our privilege in the United States.
See, when I started going back in my adulthood, to me, the thing I noticed in comparison is more ownership was down there, and I didn't see the ownership at the time. Because you can rent somewhere in the States nice, but you won't necessarily own it. Even when I'm talking in like looking at, say, you got a mortgage or something, it was like outright owned. And one thing I noticed when I went out there this summer, I only saw like one white person after seeing thousands of people. And that hit me different now as an adult than it necessarily would have hit me like when I was a kid. I wouldn't have noticed that. I would have picked up on it.
I think Jamaica and Belize are very different, though. So your experience in Jamaica is going to be very different. Belize is a melting pot in Central America. So we were owned by the Brits for a while, and we were that country that was almost outcasted from Latin America. There's a struggle with Belize of, are you black enough? Are you Latina enough? And we're kind of that country that's been shunned. So when you go to Belize, you see Asians, Indians. It's huge melting pot. And our primary language is actually English. And so for me, when I go back there, it's this crazy melting pot. And my mom actually brings up, to your other reference of sometimes if she would have stayed in Belize, she would almost be living at a higher quality of life than if she's here in the United States. So going back to your point of ownership and kind of loyalty and priorities, back home still has that. She's here now in the States, and she has this view of, sometimes she's like, did I come here for this? So it's kind of a hard reality, but thankfully she looks at me, my brother, and she says, you know what, we did good. We made the right decision.
That's the reason.
Being born in America per se, I can't exactly relate, but I can. So like my family from a small county outside of Richmond, Virginia, called Amelia County, and they own their lands, even though it's not, is what you would call hood or poor, but like they own that land. My great grandfather Popcorn, he would kill a pig and serve it to us. You know what I'm saying? Like he raised and kept up the food that he ate most of the time. He really didn't go to the grocery store for much. But we were like, man, Popcorn live here. I don't want to be there too long. But then we rent apartments and rent houses and, smaller,
Throw
bigger
money away.
cities, So I get that pride in that ownership is definitely there.
It's rooted, absolutely.
That's deep. Of course, I'm also born in America. I can't relate, but just even perspective. Like I was born in New York, right? So I'm a native New Yorker, but I'm not a New Yorker, right? I'm a Georgia. I'm a Georgia boy, right?
You're a Georgia Yankee.
You can do it that way. I'm strictly Georgia at this point. I have outside of family, I don't really rep New York. And looking back at my mother's decision, I think she made the right decision moving her 2 boys down to the South and raising us. Looking at like my life track and my brother's, the way he went through, like I think it could have been worse. The decisions we made as young adults, I've made some poor decisions, but I think just being down here in the South and having the Southern hospitality rooted in me compared to being in that fast-paced city life was the best decision. And like even right now, I got 2 kids. When you make those decisions on relocating, you just don't realize how much the impact is going to create, especially if they are like my son's about to be 12. Happy birthday, by the way, son. By the time this episode come out, he's about to be 12. So just packing up and moving anywhere, I'm taking away from what he knows, his friends, his family, the connection he's built, his familiarity with the school system. Like it's so much that goes into those decisions. Like when your mother made that decision to come to America, when your family made a decision to come here, they're doing it. It's truly, truly planned out.
Are you crying? I'm not.
I am. It must be the liquor.
Is there onions in here? Okay.
On another note, some of this glitter from this drink got in your mustache, Jason. Look like you was at a strip club all night last night.
Motorboating like a mother.
This is truly my Homeboys podcast.
So I got a good question for you, right?
Okay.
This is off the top of the head. All right, so first, it's a 2-part. Number 1, what goes into your thought process of making a drink? When you create the title, the ingredients, the presentation, walk us through that.
So the way I've been doing my drinks and my drink menu is it's all about theme, seasonality, and culture. So I look at a few things of what is going to influence this new drink I'm making. People is number 1. Most of you know me, a few of you I've met for the first time, but I'm a big connector. I'm a big person that likes to draw out energy from people.
Mayor of Atlanta, yes.
Not right now, but we'll talk about that.
Not yet.
But for me, I really look at people and what are they yearning for? What is culture talking about from a flavor standpoint? And how can I connect that back to something that's classic, that is rooted in the cocktail culture? And really the Flavor Bible is a great reference for me. I always like to balance out what is happening in culture, what flavors people are talking about liking, but also matching that with research, science, and test and trial. So right now it's the fall time frame. So what do we like in fall? Apples, cinnamon, all of that fall flavor
Pumpkin
for
spice.
things. Pumpkin spice.
Well, you don't get your basic.
Is it sweet potato pie or pumpkin? Just tell me now.
I ain't never ate pumpkin pie. Like Bernie Mac
Okay,
said.
set the record straight. Set it straight.
But you had that poontang pie, Joe. So, all right, so that makes sense. So the second part of the question was like you've been able to absorb our vibe for a couple hours now. If you had to make a Homeboys podcast drink, what is it and why?
Ooh, on the spot.
On the spot.
No Bible with you.
What I would do is I would actually give you guys an opportunity to make your own drink. Y'all all seem like you're very independent and you think differently. So what I would do is set up an old-fashioned bar. So a typical old-fashioned is bitters, something sweet, and water. So what you can do is you can have some different bourbons. You can have some different sweeteners, some different syrups, and then you have different bitters. There's so many different bitters flavors that you can bring in. There's a cardamom bitters that I've been trying. There's a cherry bitters. So I will let you guys make your own drink.
I like
cherry
bitters.
If you like a certain flavor, you would add that in because an old fashioned is simple. You can't mess it up too bad, but you can play around with the flavors. So I would set up a full bar for you guys and you can kind of have a homeboys gathering and everybody can make their own old fashioned. Boom, mic drop.
Well, you hit it on the head with the bourbon. So like, you had me at bourbon.
But what I like is how she didn't answer the question, but she put it back on us. I wouldn't make you guys a drink. I make you make your own drink. Yeah.
Do it yourself.
Because I don't want to get messed up. And y'all don't like what I choose for y'all.
Spit the shit out. Start asking a bunch of questions.
I'll monitor how you make it. I'll help you there.
Well, I had a question. My question is, so a lot of times people think about wine and stuff pairing with meals and stuff like that, are there any cocktails that pair well, or a quintessential pairing of cocktails and meals?
That is a very good question. So how about you tell me your meal, give me a meal, and then in my head I will put a cocktail with
Well,
it.
you know, you're a Gucci fan. Let's say lemon pepper wings and a freeze
So lemon pepper wings, I'm definitely going to brown liquor. I'm going to brown liquor, and I actually might lean into that and maybe do like a Hennessy margarita.
Yes, I love a Hennessy margarita.
Just
love
take out the
Hennessy.
tequila, add Hennessy. But y'all also want to make sure you add like a Grand Marnier or like a Cointreau to kind of elevate that Hennessy. That's just more liquor, guys. So I could see a Hennessy margarita going along with that. Lemon pepper wings.
What's a Cointreau?
It's essentially orange liquor, just like
Orange liqueur.
just like Garmont.
Come on,
I do
homeboy.
these drinks
Come on,
now.
homeboy.
I'm a drinker.
He know his
Love
shit.
it.
Yeah.
You put me on bitters. I wasn't with that bitter
Yeah,
shit.
it
I
was
used
like-
grenadine, but I wasn't on that bitter shit.
Yeah, he put me on some water too. Like, it sounds crazy.
So
but
yeah, it's this
tonic?
Kentucky. It's a Kentucky bourbon water. And you just put a couple of drops in your bourbon. You're drinking it straight. It enhances the minerals inside the bourbon, and it elevates the spirit and makes it more potent.
So it's not
I
really
like
water.
that.
It
No,
is
it's
water.
water.
It's legit. So what it is, the science behind it is that the water they use to make the bourbon, they use that same water and sell it. So with the TDS, which is like the total dissolve solids in the water, like the elements, like, you know, like I don't want to say mercury, but like magnesium and calcium, all that
Helium, hydrogen,
stuff. When those calcium,
neon,
when those
Einsteinium.
Multivitamins and shit.
right. So when those elements get with the elements inside the bourbon, that stuff inside the bourbon got liquor attached to it, alcohol attached to it, so it just
Like
gives it
zinc
more
and
flavor and
magnesium.
just make it more
I see what you're
boom.
saying.
It almost it sounds like it's opening up the molecules of
There you
liquor,
go.
if that makes sense. Almost
See?
like how you aerate wine and kind of open it up and swirl it and do all that stuff. I
Precisely.
think that's what this product is doing. So thank you for telling me about that. I think that's pretty dope.
I got a bottle at the house. I'll let you hold some. You know what I'm saying?
So this is like special water. I can't just go buy this at the
it's
store.
like
No,
Michael's
I
Magic
legit
Water.
bought it off Amazon. It was
I was
like
like, Amazon got everything.
like $4 or $5, maybe $7, and you get 32 ounces, and you only need 3 drops to drink at max.
That's
3
dope.
drops.
and it brings everything out.
Bro, I'm telling
And
you.
it's water.
So what happens,
it's
if you
bad.
just drink it just
So
regular?
what I do, when I gave it to Napoleon, I said, I sip the bourbon. He sipped the bourbon. He's like, yeah, I like this. I was like, add 3 drops, no more than 3. He added 3 drops. I said, now sip the bourbon again.
It tasted different.
Totally different drink.
Next episode, I
And he was, matter of fact, it was the
Young King Hector.
Young King Hell, and that why you think Eric was so thrilled that episode. Eric
I
was
made
gone.
drop to you.
Too many. Eric was like, I'm a bloop, bloop, bloop. I'm like, all right, Eric. He was like, so.
I love y'all, man. Hey, man.
You know
need to
when the
let you know.
homeboys say they start telling each other they love each other? Oh, y'all a little tipsy. Y'all a little tipsy. I love you, man.
So my question, what is your favorite drink that you made so far?
That I've made for Tasteful Gatherings?
Yes. I know my favorite drink.
My favorite drink I think I've made is a spiced pomegranate margarita. I know you don't like spice.
It wasn't that bad though. I had it.
You had
Spice with the bitterness
Spiced
of pomegranate. Ooh,
margarita.
Spice,
That sounds like it's good.
margarita.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, that does sound
And
good.
I think what makes it different also is that there is a lemon sage syrup that is used to sweeten the drink. It's not just a simple syrup. So
What did you name that one?
spiced pomegranate margarita.
Oh my bad. What was the Miami thing? The one you had, the one with the Miami title. It was Sweet Like Peachtree, and then it was I think that was like a
Ocean Drive vibes.
There you go, Ocean Drive.
You go to Miami, everybody got to pull up on Ocean Drive.
Absolutely.
You got to pull up on Ocean Drive. So when you think Miami, you think rum, you think tropical, and so that drink went pretty good because I used guava. I used guava and mint, very connected to Miami, the Cuban culture, and then made kind of that rum punch that you want, but it made you feel like you was in Miami. Put a little umbrella in it, boom.
For some reason, like I grew chest hair when I was drinking it.
Strong like
had
that?
had this Cuban accent out of nowhere. Yeah,
Hey, man.
muchacho.
Hey, man.
Can I get another cup, please?
And it had sparkles in it.
Oh, this is a good question about sparkles. So this shit don't come out like
Oh my God. What? Does it?
does it glitter when you wipe?
That is none of my business to answer. Try it out. Let me know.
Real life homeboy question.
You gotta find out.
We are with the homeboys.
Nah, that's dope. Hey, so I got to change the pace. It's a good question, and I had a discussion amongst several people. I put it out there in the universe about breadwinners in a relationship. Since we have two homegirls and 3 fellas right now on the mic, let's find out the perspective on what it's like if the male, like us men, if your woman's making more money, and as a woman, do you feel superior or feel in the way if you're the breadwinner in a relationship?
Yeah, so who going first?
I'll crank it up. I've been there. All right, so I've been married. I've had the ex-wife level up, catch a nice job, catch a great pay rate. I wasn't mad at it.
Stun on your motherfucker.
No, she did, but she didn't change how she approached it. I wasn't like, damn, broke ass nigga. She wasn't looking down at me like, you so fucking broke. Like, She stayed the same way. I kept my responsibility. Ain't like I started shifting shit over to her. Like, well, you making extra money. You need to take care of this motherfucking. No, we weren't doing that. I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking that though.
Hey, babe, rent due on the
I was
first.
waiting for the offer. Like, oh shit, I gotta pay the rent. No. Wink. On the website showing you about to pay the bill in her face and shit. Like, oh, guess what I'm gonna pay today? But nah. And the perfect wording for this is, hey, as long as she's not making you feel like lesser of a man.
As long as she's not emasculating you.
There you go. But also another thing, it does depend on how much more we talking about. Let's be honest. Yeah. Like if you making double what I'm getting.
So I was just binging 101 on Netflix, and there's an episode where
great show.
It is. I forget how good
ahead
it
of
is.
its time.
It's an episode where they had like a Oprah Winfrey type character trying to date Flex, and she offered him a job. $1.5 million a year just to be her, public relation manager, aka her boyfriend. And he was like, I can't do it. Like, you're not gonna pay me to be your boyfriend. So, I mean, because she's a multi-millionaire and she wanted you to be the stepman. You gonna do that, Jay?
Yeah, I miss those values. I remember watching 101, but those values were not instilled in me.
I would play my
Oprah,
role to
if
the
you're
T.
listening.
Listen, I will play my role to the T. Dinner be ready every night.
Right.
House will be cleaned up nonstop.
I want to know how much more is she like making?
So
Is
the
it substantial.
We're really putting a number on this?
No, it's 2 ways. It is a two-parter.
Okay.
It has to be because she's making like 5% more than me. I'm gonna be like,
No.
all right.
I said my situation, it wasn't like, it was probably between 5 to 10% range. And that was temporary. Let me make sure I put that clear. All right.
Temporary.
But if it was substantially more, that's where the issue comes in. So when we answering this question, let's think about it in the extreme part. You're making double of what he's getting. Or hell, that's right, he don't even have a job. So think about it that way. That mindset where he don't have shit to bring, you're the breadwinner altogether, or you're just making double.
That's terrible shit. That's terrible. Of course, that guy who ain't making nothing should do nothing.
He shouldn't even be in that
Question is,
situation.
If the girl, if she's making, if the woman's making more than you, but you still have your own, that's the whole crux of the situation. Because if I have my own, she's not gonna be able to boss me around to a certain extent, or I should acquiesce to whatever she says. Now, if I don't have nothing and she's providing everything, of course I gotta act like a little bitch.
Yes, master.
Yeah, but if I have my own, like, well, whatever, because you leave, I still have this, and I like what I got. So there's a difference, I think.
Okay.
So let me step in here because I'm breaking this down in my head, and this is an interesting conversation because I'm not in a relationship. I'm not married, never been married.
She's
but
single.
Hello.
So our
DMs wide open. DMs wide open.
Instagram.
the gym is
Find me at
open.
Maegan_10. The 10 means dime.
Talk your stuff, queen.
And she is fine as hell. I'm sorry, keep going.
But what I want to go back to is what's important to me when I do find that person is roles. I think roles in a relationship are important. And you had said that word before, kind of knowing your role. And so I think once I do get to that point, it's a conversation to make sure that we understand each other's roles and that there is, if there's any insecurity, that it's addressed. Because I could be making 50% more than him, but if his role is stepping up, doing more in the home or doing more in a certain space with our business maybe that we have together, I think there just has to be a balance in understanding each other's roles. So again, I'm not there yet to make a clear answer on the money piece, but I think when I do get there, it's like, look, we need to sit down and understand, like, if I'm making $1 million, I'm gone every day. What you doing at the crib? What are you doing to build our business together, etc.?
So since you're not there yet, would you date a dude that you're making 50% more than? Would it be a consideration?
How much potential does the man have to have?
That's one question.
Hold on.
Before
chime
you
in
drop
too.
in this DL, you know what I'm saying? Can he make half of what you make, Megan?
I think if we're just dating, at what point do I know how much he's making? So hopefully I can meet someone and he doesn't have a sticker that says, Megan, I make 20 grand a year. I'm a bum, before I can get to know
You're
him.
not necessarily a bum if you make 20 grand a
You're
year.
not.
I've been
You're
there.
not.
You're working on it. You're working on it.
But what-
Hopefully.
I just
I
got
don't
a
wanna-
raise.
Angry and upset if you walk.
I would hope
on
I'm in
age.
a place that I'm not judging someone, or at least able to get to know them based upon how much they're making.
Yeah, you also got to put in perspective. 20 grand in Enterprise, Alabama is different than 20 grand
Very
in
true.
in
In
Atlanta.
Atlanta or LA.
Because
That's a good
20
call-out.
grand go a long way. Enterprise, 20 grand, you just enough to be broke in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot, you in Elba, Alabama. That's next to Enterprise. I mean, you might be a boss. For real.
See?
Elba? Are you trying to move back to Alabama?
The answer's no.
That's settled.
So 20 grand ain't working with her, Pimp.
Oh, Shar done
We
moved up.
got someone stepping up to the table. My illustrious, successful, beautiful best friend, Shar McClendon.
Okay.
Okay.
Full government.
Hello, everybody. Stage name is actually Lala.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So it's somebody who is happily married to a king, my black king. I
Your stuff, queen.
This black man don't cheat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would say for myself, honestly, it is not a big deal if I would happen to make more money than my man, because there's so much to a relationship beyond income. You have emotional needs, you have physical needs, you have spiritual needs,
Yes.
you have tangible needs in the house. And so if he's hitting on all cylinders outside of that income,
And that need for that PS5. You need that, yes.
well, we're going to talk about that later. But if he's...
I would ask, how much would you sacrifice to get all those others covered outside of his income? Like, what would you dock from his pay for that?
If my husband wanted to be a stay-at-home husband and make no money, and he was hitting on everything else, I would be happy.
Yep.
Promise to God. If I was making enough money to sustain the household, he don't have to bring in no money.
Talk that stuff, queen.
I second that.
This goes to the part of every man's is not worthy being followed. So if they're not checking off boxes the right way, there's no need to submit to this.
Right. I mean, because
That's right.
money, in which I tell people, like, I grew up, in comparison, I grew up poor. Yeah, I remember years my mom didn't have a job, but we didn't lack for anything.
I remember,
We ate
you had those shoes where your toes were hanging out in high school.
I never had those. I never. My mom, no, we grew up poor. I said, listen to us. We grew up financially poor, but we never lacked for anything. You know, there's a difference. You can have money and still have nothing. There's, think about it. Think about it. Think about all these athletes who don't have anything. They go bankrupt. They sign $1 million contracts, and then they agent take $10 million, and they don't have a dime to their name. They're working at Winn-Dixie. Matter of fact, the dude from the Cosby Show was working at Starbucks because he had nothing. So you can grow up poor and lack for nothing like I did. So it's not the quote unquote dollars. You know what I'm saying? If you bring stuff to the table, you don't need the money.
Can I jump in here?
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick?
go ahead. Entrepreneur.
Yeah. Thank you. I think it's very important that we have since this is relationship talk, that we have married people speak more on topics, because I think in our culture what we see is a lot of single people speaking on what they would and what they would not do. And I always run into this in talking to people about their preferences. Like, you know, a person can be gung-ho about their preference, but it's like, you're not married. You don't know what works. Like, you shouldn't really cling hard to what your opinion is, because your opinion got you to where you are right now. Not saying that everybody has crossed paths with the perfect person, but in most circumstances, like when you're in a relationship, you have a big part in the disconnect in that relationship sometimes.
Yeah, as a married woman, I would totally agree. Like, when I was single, I was always like, no, my man has to make more money than me, and like, I want a baller, blah, blah, blah. But after marriage and seeing all the other needs that had to be fulfilled in that marriage, and he was able to do that, like, the money thing was just That's a nice to have.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
just
cherry on top.
Exactly.
There's so much more
That's
important.
real.
There's so much more important shit.
But you're also single and not married. So again, that's the point that I'm making. Like, if you like, you have to understand as a human being, if you're not where you want to be as a human being, whether it be relationship or anything, like you have to kind of let your ego take a back seat to your openness to find whatever you want to have in life. Because in most circumstances, when you grow to that point, just like you just said specifically, when you get to the point where you marry and then you start experiencing all of these things that are never spoken of, then it's like, damn, I was talking all this shit. I was so passionate about this shit, but it didn't matter anyway.
You don't know what you don't know until you know it. I mean,
Right.
until you get to that point, you don't know anything about an experience because you've never experienced it.
Right.
And so I think that's why my answer is very level laned. I think with
respect
what
that.
you were asking, where it's like, we'll see when we get there how I feel.
I'm gonna
Honestly.
let you get the seat in a second, but I'm still talking.
Okay.
No, I'm
Okay.
just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. But the other thing that I wanted to say, like, I think especially in the Black community, like, we have to really like take the pulse of this state and time. Like, Black women are the highest earners out of like. And the most educated
for
in
certain.
this country, in any demographic. So
And they be thick too.
and they be fine. Like, and
THIC.
like for real though, Black women are popping right now. So
Period.
it's like,
That doesn't mean she's gonna be making. That doesn't. Granted, with all the statistics, doesn't mean you're gonna be talking to one who's making more than you or she's doing all of that.
Well, as
You're
a
just going off the probability or more likely.
so
that it might
let's
be.
talk real life examples. As a recently married guy, my beautiful Black queen has a PhD, so she's more educated than me
Yes,
by
yes.
paperwork. I am talking about myself, and she makes more money than me. So I was always, I'm a supply, I'm gonna pay all the bills, I'm gonna do all this. And when she moved in, I've been living in this apartment. You moved into my house, I'm paying all these bills. And then she was like, "No, I don't need you to support me. We splitting this." And so we legit. And I remember having this, like, I sat back from the argument. I was like, "What type of woman do I have? Well, I'm trying to pay all her bills and meet all her needs." And she's like, "No."
and that's also a part of why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because as a Black man,
You don't know what you get into until you,
right, and as a Black man it's extremely important to me to be married one day and find a wife. Like, in being around so many women, I get an opportunity to sit back and actually learn what Black women need, because I'm gonna marry a Black woman or a melanated woman. So, melon, the diaspora, we all got a certain experience. So, but anyway, I just being able to sit back, like, from my perspective, I've always grown up the same way, feeling like I gotta pay all the bills. Like, that's my role as a man. It's like, shit, the type of women I'm attracted to, like, they're kind of in the same lane I'm in as entrepreneurship, but they way better than me. Like on some real shit. So it's just some shit. Like, I might be the feet rubbing nigga. Like, I might be the back rubbing.
Hey.
I might be the cheerleader. You know what I'm saying?
The feet rubbing nigga.
Hey, men learn how to cook too. Now
I can cook. I can cook in everything. Like, that's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
cook.
That's one thing I used to be like. Hopefully she can cook, but if I can cook better than her, just stay the fuck out the kitchen. We shouldn't have both.
Well,
have
it's
a bad
interesting.
meal.
Like in the Belizean culture, women are the lead of the household. So women lead in jobs. They lead in maintaining the household financially, and the men actually take a back step. That is the entire culture. So I see my dad, and he cooks the majority of the dinners. He makes sure the house is kept, but he also works a day job.
Listen,
Rolls.
I'm woke man, because I
yeah, that's you.
if we want to be real, like real, America got shit fucked up. Like, that's why, like, they do.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, we don't and I'm not saying this, I'm a strong as opinionated, passionate Black man. Like, and I'm very intelligent, but I also know that when I put myself up against a woman, like, you guys are creators. You go through so much more as women. But anyway, he mad because he ain't got to that point in himself as a man where you get, because
the way you're talking is almost like you're trying to
in the mic.
The way you're talking is almost like you're downing yourself, like you haven't achieved as much as said person you're speaking of.
Before you
You're
respond,
almost assuming that the person you're talking to has achieved more than you, which in my head doesn't reflect like a lot of self-confidence.
before you respond,
Speaking highly of
the difference in y'all's opinion is your upbringing and your culture that you were raised in, man. So like, what do you? Before I assume, I know you said on the episode, what nationality do you represent and embrace?
Oh, definitely Jamaica. America don't love black
Exactly. So Jamaican culture of a man is different from possibly a man who grew up in the South.
But still, even if we take that on the table, like I'm only saying this because of like my desire to be the best me that I can be. Like this is not a lack of confidence. This is actually being able to reflect on one. Again, they call me woke man for a reason. Like a conflict between black women and black men is that women say that we don't show up for them, right? We can't support black women. We can't uplift black women. And it's like, in this conversation, I'm more so uplifting the black women who listen to this podcast and who are sitting across the table from me. I'm not taking a shot at myself because I know who the fuck I am. Like, I know how strong of a man I am. King. I know I'm an entrepreneur. I choose to be all of these things because I believe in myself. So it's not even me comparing myself to a woman. These are just facts that exist in America. And these are facts that show up in nature that women, or even if you go to freaking animals, like the female species of animals generally are the species that like they're the hunters and they're the gatherers. Mm-hmm. We as men have allowed in trying to do white culture and trying to embrace white culture, like we have allowed our ego to supersede what nature says. So that's a part of a lot of our conflict. So again, Andrew, what I'm saying to you is not downing myself. That shit is just acknowledging what happens in nature and pushing that to the forefront of the conversation versus saying, let my ego say, I can chop more wood than both of you women. Like, that shit is irrelevant.
And we might chop the wood smarter.
Right.
So.
That shit is irrelevant,
or
though.
Pay somebody to do it for
wrong?
us.
Or pay somebody to do it.
Is it wrong for me to be like, I need to see you chop this wood better than me prior to assuming it?
Why, the point is, why are we having a conversation about chopping wood? That's what I. But
as long as the wood chop.
Right, but I brought it up as an example of information that doesn't need to come in the conversation. We're not having, like, if I'm talking about black woman and black man relationship, I don't need to talk about who's stronger. I don't need to have a conversation about power because I know my own strength. So let's talk about the things in conversation that we need to actually talk about, like saying the things that I said, which uplift black women, or acknowledging the fact that we need to continue to have those conversations. We need to put our ego aside and really
The producer gonna have his phone on.
Fucking no, listen.
It's a new phone, man.
Go straight to the
Brand new phone.
So new phones don't come with
It's
vibrate.
1 day old. Listen, yo,
Hey, my old phone though. When I got here, I checked and I turned the ring
his
off.
old, so he got two phones. You heard that flex? My old phone.
I'm just saying. If we talking about money, I ain't had to put my money out there at all.
Easy
you
money.
know what I'm saying? I do got two phones.
Hey.
One for the plug and one for the load.
Hey, listen, he got a grill too. Listen, I brought up this subject. Y'all had some great commentary. Look, opinions are opinions. Everybody has one, like an asshole. I'm gonna close this topic out because this shit can go on forever, right?
Well, what about an aside, and we just close this out, then open it up, and then have more conversation?
We can, but I want to get this expression because I'm the only person at the table who's had both sides of the spectrum. I've been single, I've been married, I'm back single.
You had some heels.
So I got in it and I got out, right? You know, the marriage was supposed to be till death do us part. It didn't work out that way, and I have no ill feelings towards her. Me and her are actually great friends at this point. As a man, when you get married, your mindset has to be completely non-egotistic. Like you can't have gender roles. Like that, the logic that you're speaking right now, like gender roles. No, it's not what you're saying, but it's what you're implying. Like the meaning, the male shouldn't do this, do that.
It depends on the means and what you have. That's what I was implying to define it. The two people together should define what they should be doing.
Yeah, I get
that
you.
That can't be defined until they get together.
The money won't make a relationship. If your relationship's founded off of this man makes X, Y, Z, and he's taking care of home financially, but he's not giving her the happiness, the loving, the care, spending the quality time, the affection, the physical touch.
Just want to be miserable.
That's what she wanted to be, a trophy wife, right? But at the same time, you wanted a toy at home. You didn't want a spouse. You didn't want an equal. You wanted something you could play with and throw away and put up in the cabinet when you're done.
Damn right.
I feel like everybody's relationship is different.
It depends on what you want.
Hard.
It depends on what you want.
Y'all keep cutting this man off on his.
It depends on what you want. Because now, like, I'm 2 years divorced, so I've been single. Like this, I know we're in pandemic, but I've been enjoying myself. Right? Not like recklessly. Let's put it out there.
Some of that pandemic.
I get tested weekly. I'm making sure I'm not bring nothing back. I think I had it back.
What type of
test we talking about?
I got that test too. When we pull that up, shit, that's recent. Both
Weekly though?
all of them. Nah,
Weekly? You get it in like that?
So VID and HIV.
all of them motherfuckers. Side note, I saw a meme the other day. They were saying this is waiting for the election results to come in. It's like waiting for your STDs results to come in. I said, nigga, I was sweating my motherfucking ass. I wait for that notification to pop up. Shit, but the point was, I finally realized, like, what am I bringing to the fucking table for these women, man?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
In your eyes, like, you know these. Listen, I really had to come to like a who's who with myself. Like, man, I had to completely stop trying to be available for people until I could fix myself in financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. All this shit had to fall in order for I'm still like
Too broke, so make a
I
fix.
fixed it, but I'm not even where I want to be, right? So I can't give myself to anybody at this point. If I allow somebody to have me at this point, I'm settling and they're getting a 80% version of Jay. 80% is not gonna get us to the promised land.
Yo, you are speaking truths, my king. Like, yo,
I rock with it. I like it.
Yo, this is my homeboy Eric BFL speaking right here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, that's definitely a high note. And with that being said, I want to see final thoughts. I want to end on that because you got everybody thinking. You know what I'm saying? We all snapping our fingers and whatnot.
I'm already in the moment, so I'll start off the final thoughts, man. This is the Thanksgiving episode, right? I want everyone to give a thankful thing. For me, the pandemic is rough, right? Whether you've lost friends, family, or one's close to you has really struggled through it financially, like this has been rough. I've been fortunate. When I say it's been good to me, it's not like a nonchalant comment. It's like really, I've been able to take care of so much shit because I have so much more time available to commit to things. I'm thankful. Let me start off with the little boy that you saw earlier, for my kids. I believe if I wasn't a father, I would be a piece of shit. Can't sugarcoat it. If you don't have a purpose, that's my purpose. I don't think I found a purpose outside. I don't need a purpose. 12 years ago, I found my purpose.
We knew you in high school. You was a
Piece of shit. Even after high school. That's why he didn't like me. He's a piece of shit.
You should have had your kids in elementary school. They have more friends.
Are y'all homeboys? Confused.
It's really just me and him with cool. I don't know.
You gonna do me like that, bro?
He don't ever come around. He done turned on me. This nigga be wishy-washy, this motherfucker.
Stole my hairstyle.
You stole my beard. But no, I found my purpose. I'm thankful for that. And lastly, life, of course, my means of providing. Like this month and last month alone, I found myself wanting to give more. Like whether somebody needed money, donating something, doing a charitable.
Get 20 though.
I don't like you like that. I'm joking. If you really need it, talk to him. Listen. I'm thankful, but because of this podcast, I'm thankful for our platform. We joke, I'm the biggest joker on it. I talk a lot of reckless shit. If you listen, I'm 9 times out of 10 one of the voice clips of some crazy shit and experience and shared with the world. But I'm thankful for like the platform, like even the conversation about relationships, the breadwinner. That's gonna resonate with somebody else. What we put in this app, this universe, it finds its way back, man. So I'm thankful for this. Like even us coming together, you sharing your passion, these drinks, told your testimony, your story, the laughs and everything we share, even the fake tears we wiped off when I was talking earlier. I'm thankful. That's my final thought.
Okay, most definitely. Who's gonna follow that? Because I definitely am not. This man just brought the house down.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and volunteer Maegan to go next.
Y'all. Well, I think what you said about sewing and serving, it goes back to my mantra, which is sip, serve, sew. Obviously the sip is about cocktails, but the way I live my life is about sewing into people, giving, serving the community. And this year was the first year that I realized that where you sow, like where you give and serve, is not necessarily where you reap. Because life is about sowing and reaping. Yeah. And for me this year, I've reaped in places that I never would have thought. Like God has opened doors for me to start my business, to do a lot of other things. And I'm so thankful that I have something where I can serve and sow and help people, because now I'm starting to see it come to life. So I'm thankful for honestly everything God's doing in my life, and really the people that are helping me open doors, keep doors cracked, close doors. I'm thankful for closed doors, honestly.
That's a word.
Yeah. So it's been a good year for me too, and I'm thankful that I can actually say that. Boom.
Wonderful. Yeah. Mic drop.
Cheers to that. That was strong.
Yeah, so I didn't have a prepared statement about what I'm thankful for. However, I am really thankful. I like to say I'm thankful for family, and in a perverted way, kind of like how Eric said he wanted Trump to win because of the galvanization that it provided to black people. I'm thankful for COVID because it allowed me to see. I mean, I think I had said earlier in one of the episodes that 2020 would be like a vision year and all that good stuff. But now I feel like with COVID, you see a lot of stuff. Like I'm closer to my family now. I'm closer to my friends now. Like it cut out a lot of the excess bullshit that I would do to, I guess forget I had other shit to do, like the procrastination. Like it's harder to procrastinate when you with COVID going on. Like it's harder to sit out here and get caught up in situations that you shouldn't be in because COVID's around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you ain't just out there like that. So I say I'm thankful for COVID and my family. You know what I'm saying? I want to say rest in peace to my grandfather. And that's about all.
Mic drop again. You over here trying to show me how long this curls is. What's your final thoughts, nigga?
I got a couple final thoughts. Number one, shrinkage is real.
All natural, Lucy. All natural. Hey, what products you use in your hair?
Actually, Young King Healthcare products. They was on the last episode.
Follow them on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Young King
like
Healthcare.
I'll buy it for my man.
Will you get one? No shade.
Somebody asked the question, do you like men with beards?
She already told you she like big bellies and gold teeth.
That was my past life. I love facial hair. Love facial hair.
Well,
we got another question coming in from the audience.
Where are these questions coming from? Where?
There's a follow-up question from the audience.
We's the audience.
I will hold off. Oh, they're not? Okay, cool. So my final thought, man, I just want to be thankful for friends, fellowship, and family.
3 F's.
Yeah, man, friends. I was gonna say in football, but but no, seriously, just thankful for friends, fellowship, and family. This year has been a different year. I won't say it was difficult because a lot of good came out of this year. And I won't even say that it was bad in this year. I just think there was an opportunity to learn about your own strength and characterizations. So I learned a lot about my character this year. I became a whole husband this year.
Yes, sir.
So
Hey.
That's Jeezy, by the way.
So yeah, man, I just want. Yeah, I'm thankful for that, man. Drew.
My final thought. Thankful. I'm just thankful for life. There's nothing larger than living. That's it.
Perfect, man. This has been another episode.
So you just gonna skip my final thought?
I was gonna say
This is why.
Eric and his homeboys
No,
podcast.
fuck this shit. You gonna stop disrespecting my BFF.
Right.
This is
'Cause
why.
I had one right after his, but I was like, I'll let the rest of the people bring the energy down.
I was
a little
introducing
bit.
you, man. Another episode of Eric and his homeboy podcast. This is Eric.
You see, I took a back seat though, right?
Before you give your
You
final
still had your
thought,
segment though.
before you give the final thought, Twan, what's the name of me and you and Eric's group chat?
Eric, what's your final thought?
Hello.
So, my final thought is I want to first say I'm thankful for this podcast. A year ago, I decided to start a business, and this podcast is the very first podcast that was recorded on my equipment and put out and published for the public to hear. We have been consistently recording every other week for over a year now. So we are about what's this episode?
33, I think.
33. Shit.
Scottie Pippen episode.
Hey.
Damn, that's crazy because last year was the hardest year of my life so far, outside of maybe 2014. But I went through a lot of growth. This podcast has definitely given me something to get up for every other Sunday and make this trip down the road to get this out. I'm thankful to be able to be in a room with great minds, like a black men who have a voice and are able to speak their passionate opinions about whatever is going on in our society. I'm thankful for mental health. If you follow me, I put a lot of shit on my Instagram. If you don't follow me at Pretty Fly for a Fat Guy with an underscore at the end. Yeah. But yeah, I'm thankful for just being able to do my own thing and having people around me to support me doing my own thing and making sure that I push through and I have a reason every day to keep working on my passion and pushing my business forward.
Yeah, that's a true mic drop.
Real quick, I'm also thankful for Shara and Megan coming.
Yes,
to record
we're
for
all
us.
thankful for that.
Yes.
The
Thank
drinks,
you. Thank you.
the energy, the vibes.
Right.
Drinks were
A whole vibe. I love it.
You can't run it up like Shawty Low.
I missed it.
Miss what?
He gonna put.
Everybody was clapping. I wanted to come back with the yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey, listen, Jeezy's gonna wash this nigga. I'm sorry.
He is.
It's gonna
He
be a
is.
wash, but it's gonna be
And that's no
good.
disrespect to Gucci Man, because for the longest
You
I
just
didn't
did.
like Gucci Man, but I like Gucci Man.
But the
now.
big picture is them
Megan,
two.
put that razor up.
Them two coming together. Jeezy
Let
and
me
Gucci.
put my goals back in because y'all don't get it.
I gotta see this gold front Megan, like the trap house girlfriend Megan.
No.
I gotta see it because your Instagram
Shit, me too. I just want to look, Jason. FYI, I just want to see.
is on me. I'm
I don't have goals, but if anybody wants to give me some Christmas gift, roll up.
I mean,
There ain't nothing to Jason. He already had 80%.
And this has been another episode of Eric and his homeboys podcast. I got my boy Big Grounds.
I got my boy Easy Money, Pretty Fly for a Fat Guy.
I got my boy Napoleon.
Yes, sir. And I got my homeboy Jamaican Pup. Oh, that sucked. Whatever. But Drew.
Y'all.
And we got our homeboy Twan. My bad. I didn't know if he was gonna make it or not.
I was gonna say, yo.
Ah, it's close.
All right, man. We out.
Hey.